Welcome to the Escaping Paradise podcast, stream, whatever this is. How you guys doing? The whole amalgamation of how I got here in the first place was because I had multiple escapades and adventures that I wanted to go after, wanted to chase while being a normie, and while chasing those said dreams to become a person of notoriety on the internet, I have lost my normie status and I've become an internet heathen that can only breathe and live on said interweb dimension. Now, I'm escaping that paradise because I want to go back to being a normal person. I want to go back to adjusting to society, to just having normal conversations and being okay with that. And that's basically what escaping paradise means. Now, it can be seen as whatever the fuck you want to call it as, whatever. Anyway, how are you doing? I'm still working on whether or not I want to permanently stream on YouTube or Twitch, because I tried it on YouTube. It was pretty fun. It's actually a little bit more it's actually a lot easier to get my streams on YouTube from streaming both platforms because of that. And I also like making separate YouTube channels. I don't know. What I'll probably do is I'll probably just like make it like permanently Twitch for now, and then I'll like dabble in YouTube every now and again. You know what I mean? Just like to make it spicy. Yeah, the whole plan is though to catalog everything on that YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to, which is going to be here, by the way. Subscribe to that YouTube channel, and keep it going like that. Okay, the ad out the way. Let's just get into basically anything at this moment, because I'm gonna make bread. I'm looking forward to doing that. And the RNC is going on. I did talk about that like not too long ago. And, I think in the last stream I talked about that. And it's pretty pretty terrifying. And I also just talked about a little bit of like incel shit, right? And funny enough, like I don't know, like the topic of incel, like, I keep mentioning it like consistently because I have experience with it. But I feel like if you really break everything down, the mentality down, what it basically will come down to is like, you know, gender roles are strict and they should never, no one should ever go out of gender roles. And because of that mentality right there, it's going to pin themselves down for inevitable defeat, i.e., you know, the defeat of having to become the breadwinner. And in some cases, or most cases, you there's not going to be the case, right? Like, for example, I'm in a relationship, and our deal is whoever makes the most money, fuck it, we're just gonna go there. That's basically it, you know. And I feel like it's like the best way to go about it, because like part of me doesn't want to stay in Florida, and part of her doesn't say what she wants to say. So therefore, if we have this amicable meritocratic, is that the right term? I don't know. Like in regards to money, if you have it in that aspect, then it'll be more of a basically an economically viable a reason to do the movement, instead of like well, feelings, you know what I mean? Like, just gotta think hardcore logic, you know what I mean? Because like feelings are important, but in some instances feelings may collide and arguments may ensue. So therefore, if you just go by logic, you can't like argue logic that hard without feelings. I mean, no, with your feelings, because like it'll just end up being like a useless adventure. But yeah, oh man, I just got out the shower, feeling hot as hell. I'll take off this jacket in a minute, but I don't know, I kind of like it. This is a new season. Day 16, season what, 2? I don't know how anime works, but yeah, man, fuck. I was actually, surprisingly enough, I'm getting back into Minecraft. I'm really getting back in Minecraft. I kind of wish though I can either show my stream on Twitch or show my or get a computer that can handle like games like that, because I want to make Minecraft on stream, bro. Because like the way my mind works, I don't know, bro. Like Minecraft's kind of poggers. I'm gonna be honest. Okay? It is kind of top tier games. Like the only problem with it is it takes forever to get into, right? Because like you have to have a mind that just allows you just to go on certain paths and just run with it. You can't just be. I can't snap. My hands are too dry because I just got out of the shower. You can't be like, you know, too stagnant. You have to just be spontaneous and adventurous to dive into Minecraft. I like it like that. You know what I mean? I'm building like, you know, like in Skyrim, like they have like this little house at the front, and then you get to build attachments on the top of it. Like the more materials you get, that's what I'm doing. The house I have right now, little stone palace. I wish I could really show you guys. God damn it, dude! Holy fuck! You know what? Hot take here. When my new PC comes in the day after 9/10, I'm not saying that date ever out loud, but when it comes in at that date, and I'm probably just gonna like do Minecraft stream after, of course, the long and laborious hour of the podcast, whatever the fuck this is. I genuinely don't know what to still call this. I just don't know. But the thing is, like, I want to do this, so I can't just not do this. So that's not in the option whatsoever. But I just don't know what to call this. I guess I can call it a podcast, but like if I'm gonna be playing games later, then heck, it can be a podcast, right? Because it'll be, you know, a stream. I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Maybe, you know what? Hold up. Maybe I'm a person who doesn't like labels. Maybe I don't like labels at all. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of don't. You know, I've always been really weird take here. Okay, really weird take. How should I do this? Because I want to make this a video. This section of videos. Should I? There's two topics I want to talk about. Right. The one topic is with being black but not sounding black. Heavy quotations there because there's no such thing. And the other one is the bisexuality aspect. I feel like I should just do both, right? Just because, you know, time exists as a concept I need to fill. All right. I guess I can do the bisexuality one first. Okay. So as I said before, you know, I am of the bisexuality degree. Now, one thing I do have to mention, as with this label that I've been labeled with continuously, or that I label myself with, is the fact that I pass as just a regular straight guy. You know, honestly, 99% of the case, that's true. And I mean, technically passing as a straight guy is kind of heteronormative itself, but you're gonna get my point in a minute. So for example, you know, when you're you know, just in the locker room or just talking around with people and they say like some like, God damn, man, yeah, fucking gay, right? And then you just laugh it off because, you know, like partially, I don't know how, like, it doesn't work the same for everything else, but partially it's a part of you that you can just stow away, like you're putting yourself in the closet, so nothing is affecting you that way. And if you do that, then that means you can just have the other fraction of you, which is actually a true part of you, you know, the straight part of you, and deal with it that way. And because you can just have the facade up, it won't be that much of a facade because technically it'll be true. And I mentioned before, it's like 60-40 in my case. So because I'm able to just use that and hold that up, it's like, haha, please just think I'm straight and not get any backlash for it. I'm able to just, you know, pass normally. And if any conversations do come up in regards to the same gender, I can just, you know, do what I learned socially and just act accordingly, you know, act like I would act like a straight person in that situation. Like, for example, there are multiple instances where there were not, I don't want to say they were gay, but there was questionable, sexually questionable and curious members in my high school. Maybe like question myself in general. Because there, for example, like, there's these three friends, I don't know the names at all, but they're like they were really close. They're like almost like connected at the hip type shit, right? And there's rumors going around them with like they would lick each other or something like that, something really weird, something very sensual essentially. That was like the rumors going around like, oh, they're fucking gay, dude. And it's like, oh, I mean, yeah, but my first thought was like, but if girls do that, it's fine though, right? I didn't say that because saying that was like kind of be like a mind blowing experience, right? Because like if you know some guys kiss or like they just like hug or whatever, you're like, oh, that's fucking gay. Girls do it, oh no, they're just friends, you know, like because it's like the whole idea of how we fetishize the lesbianality. That's not a word. The lesbian homosexuality. And because we demonize the other side of the aspect. So in that sense, yes. Because like if you genuinely think about it, right? Because like when I said that, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I made a thought outside of what the normal purview of was in the early 2010s, which is like a very edgy stage in my early on high school career. But like I was wondering, like, if I thought that was normal, why did I think it was normal? So I just piqued my curiosity, like, oh, so that's why I thought it was normal, because I do, like that type of stuff. But that's not like the main reason. Well, it is because the fact, like, again, it's demonized. So therefore, if you think it's normal to be intimate with a friend of yours, even though it's supposed to be demonized by society, then that means you must have some inclinations towards said gender. Now, of course, again, these are major presumptions, but this is how I got to the thought process of becoming and of finding out who I truly was, in that sense of the word, I guess that makes sense. And it was very eye-opening, essentially. And once I found that out, I'm like, holy shit, I can't say the gay jokes anymore because that's bad, And I was in a Christian school, dude. There was like two gay people in my school. I know of. And weirdly enough, there were never like any outwardly lesbians, but I'm pretty sure there had to be because it's kind of easy to be lesbian anywhere in the social setting of like being open with like let me explain because like saying that doesn't make any sense. So again, the example of like being intimate with your friends, like you can be lesbian in that sense. Like you can be like kiss your friend, whatever, and like oh they don't think about it at all. If you like you try to kiss your friend as a guy, it's like oh what the fuck, dude, you kind of gay. Like you can't hide that, but you can hide it pretty well in a lesbian sense. Anyway, the point is this, right? So I found that out. I had to like just hide it away, just demonize it, hide behind that, and never think about it or even like want to even touch that side of the field, as I said. And because being male and male gay is the worst crime in the history of Christianity, and because of that, it's not repressed thoughts, but I've always had like a what if situation going on there. And I also had because of that phase of me thinking about trying to hide that bi side of me, I was like being overly corrective in a straight sense where I was trying to just like hunt down, like not hunt, well, yes, technically I was trying to hunt down women to date them to prove that I was straight and getting vag and having the sex at all times. It's a very masculine thing to do that, right? Well, not masculine, it's like a very men-esque thing to do to prove that you're not a thing by overcompensating in other fields that would make people forget about the thing that you're not, even though no one really gives a damn what you're not. Like, what? I mean, genuinely, honestly, like, even to you incels out there, right? Because this is a perfect segue to incels. No one really cares if you're a virgin. Like, you go out there, you like your friends, you just random strangers. No one really cares. Like, the vast majority of people don't even care. It's the internet congregate, and even in some rare instances, your other partner. Other than that, like, the vast majority of people just do not care if you're a virgin, if you had sex. It just don't, because like it just doesn't come up in the normal good day conversations, and it's a very weird thing to fixate on. But that's how I compensated to make up and forget about that. And once I got out of high school, once I got out of that, repressive religious aspect, I started, realize, oh, well, maybe there's more to life than hiding behind myself. But the thing is, right, I still feel like I genuinely do still hide behind with reflex because of the fact like it's been so long since realized shit like that, and because of that. Also, because it's easy, right? It's like, have you ever seen like any white passing mixed people? I've seen a couple, and I've noticed that like in most instances, if they don't mention they're black, a lot of white people or like racist people who aren't necessarily white, but in most cases, let's just say white for the sake of brevity, they were like, "Oh, I didn't even know, wow," and it gets like the vibe gets a little bit tilted and off. It's like that, right? You kind of don't want to, in that instance, like you don't want to embrace being black because if you pass white so well, then you can get the privilege of being white. But that shouldn't be the main reason why you just don't act black. You shouldn't act black if you aren't acting black. You know what I mean? If you're actually that black type of person. I mean, like, because like I feel like subverting expectations is a good thing, right? But if you're just completely doing it and it's like either hurting you in a sense or like you're like repressing a thick ass accent or you're just repressing your like desires, and like you're kind of hindering yourself as much as the benefit you get from just becoming what you're not, right? And that's what it proves being biased. That's how it was the entire time, and I think it's only am now to the most part, right? Because like at the end of the day, like even if I am, it still doesn't change who I am. It still doesn't change how I act as a personality or as a person in general. Like, and again, I am in comparison to the heteronormative standard to be a man. I'm pretty normal in that set, so it's not really like anything that like whoa, I knew it, like because I said this at the third. Like, it won't change that much. You know what I mean? So yeah, and basically, like. Doing it because it is easier to hide it is very hypocritical, but confronting it in general is kind of hard because again, I dealt so long without even thinking about confronting it because it just became instinct. Because there was a phase in my life where lying became such a second instinct, such a second nature concept that like I wouldn't even know if I was lying. It wouldn't be like I was good at lying, but I just wouldn't know that I was lying anymore. And I assume a lot of people would like line it up with being talented with lying, but I feel like it's more along the lines of like you just want to be in that world where the lie is true so bad that you actually make it true in your mind. And therefore, if you tell a lie to anyone else, they're gonna immediately assume that the lie is the truth that you're telling to them. You know what I mean? It's just a very, very wild concept. Yes, that's my whole story of bisexuality. You know, how I've dealt with it. You know what I mean? All right. There you go. Look at that. We are shitting out content today. You know, I woke up today. There's a bowl in my bed. Good thing you can't see it. Jesus Christ. It looks like a bowl. Anyway, I woke up today. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I didn't want to do it because I got a pre-job interview tomorrow. I don't want to go to, but I need the money if I want to, you know, move out. I desperately want to move out. And after I woke up, you know, I peeped the Twitters. You know, I do that quite a lot. And while I was peeping the Twitters, I found, you know, that hey, the world is still burning. Hey, what's up, Booze, Barbara Ross, whatever the hell her name is. What's up, Booze? What's up, Booze? What's up, Booze? Yeah. And once I saw the world is burning, I'm like, oh, sweet. This wasn't a dream. This is still happening. We are still like 5 months in the pandemic. We are currently just, you know, just suffering hell. Respect the beard. Thanks, brother. I mean, I might have to shave it very soon if I get the job I'm trying to get. If the job interview is successful, this beard may be gone and my tears will be immeasurable, uncountable, numerous. Oh, okay. So long-term goals. Long-term goals are very good to, you know, try to strive for. Obviously. Yeah, do what I do, you gotta pay it. Exactly. It's just you just gotta like I did that numerous times. I think it was my first like really big job that like is responsible for like the most of my college payment, where my money is coming from for college. And also I wanna say the job before that, like it was immensely like I had to regularly shave looking presentable, right? Because like the process of growing a beard is not necessarily the most ideal process. You know what I mean? And doing that, it made me want a beard even more. Because like I always had a phase where I wanted a beard, but I could never like grow it thick enough or like well enough, or had enough. I didn't have enough time to do so. I didn't have like the patience for it. But now I'm in the quarantine. You know, barely go out. Except for the job interview, probably tomorrow. I can do what the fuck I want here. What do you call a 6-year-old fighter jet? A sonic boomer. Oh god. We're not even at that segment of the bad jokes, the bad dad jokes, but just what was I saying before that? I forgot what I was saying before that. That kind of sucks. Oh yeah. So the other segment of video I guess I want to talk about, I guess I could bring up right now actually. Yeah, I don't want to drop that already. Do I want to squander my second topic as like a concrete topic I can talk about like immediately? Like it's like basically like pulling out your trump card like immediately. I guess I could do it right now. Okay. Second content on the way. All right. So the concept of acting black, that is it's a thing that exists on this planet in society. Now, of course, whenever I say acting black, because like that's a really pejorative, racist type of phrase, if you want to put it lightly, it means, you know, acting in a southern, just a southern accent, essentially. Having a southern accent and being black means you're acting black. And acting how southern accented black people would act in said society. And if you don't know it, it's obviously like, you know, like listen to any like I don't know any rappers anymore. I don't listen to much music anymore. Like listen to like any like Florida or like Texas or even like Atlanta rapper. That's essentially like the acting black person out of there. Also, you know, committing crimes, you know, being mad at everything, aggressive, every single negative stereotype that you think of a black person. That's essentially what the acting black labels you at. And this ties very well to the sexuality segment I just had like literally 2 seconds ago. Subverting expectations to become the model minority is such a thing to aspire to be, because again, if you step out of line or even like stumble on a word, or you know, just like have an off day, then you are representative for why your race is as bad as everyone says it is. You know? And that's a really weird thing to say, right? Because like if you like fuck up and misread something, you're like, oh, so they were right about black people that can't read. Ha ha ha. Like what? We can't make mistakes, bro. Like, is that what we're doing here? Like, is that what we're really doing here? Like, come on, bro. And so like that exists, right? And as you can tell, I don't have that much of a black accent at all. I barely say the N word either. Like I just don't. You know what I mean? Like if my whole example is this: like I don't say it so I can be like, if I don't say it at all, how come you can't say it? It's not that hard. But you know what I mean? That's my whole concept behind that. And since I don't act or talk in that manner, and that means I'm one of the good ones. Not necessarily, but that's the same impression that they give off. Because like if I'm talking articulate or talking as if, you know, I'm not from the South, that means I'm less of a black person because I don't act like everyone else thought we were. Now, this reminds me of, okay, I'm gonna step out of my expertise bubble, but this reminds me of like how when some Native Americans like being called Indian, and they like be called that even though like colonizers came and genocided all of the Indians and mistaken them for Indians when they're actually Native Americans. It's like that, right? It's like it's a negative thing that is permeated and stained on your being, and you just live with it now. So acting black is now equatable and equivocable with just being uneducated and basically not articulate at all. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. And so that's why even when you're coming from the black side of things, when they say you're not acting black enough, they're essentially trying to say you're not acting like the stereotypical standard of a black person that the white people, the white supremacists up top have told everyone else down below and us to consume and approve of. And because you don't fit in those parameters, then you are no longer what you claim to be or look like you are. You know what I mean? And I feel like I had if you know what LARPing is, like live action role playing, I've had multiple like occasions where like I'll be in middle school like, god damn it, I wish I was blacker, I wish I was fucking, you know, out there in the streets just doing what I want to do. And I would, you know, go to like my dad's side of the family, and I would relive my fantasy there. It was a very weird, very odd, very spoiled-esque feeling to it. It's essentially like if a white guy was like, God damn it, I want to be more country. How come I can't never be goddamn country? And then they go out and meet with their Uncle Buck, whatever, and they like mud shoot and then like catch fish with their dicks open. Like it's like that type of stuff, right? You're relating to that and you want to be that, but you can't be that due to your class. And that's mainly the problem here, right? The whole like negative stereotype of black and white people is mainly in regards to the poor side of both races, right? So it's almost like hear me out, society is ingrained to be classist, and that classist distinction makes it funnier to make fun of people who act differently from those who aren't as educated or who do not have as much income. Pretty much they're set there to demean people. And if people up top, you know, the richer white people, richer black people who aren't acting as if they should be acting, they aren't acting as if they should be, you know, like people with money, you know, the good people, then they get referenced and called to their poor class. And like white people just acting like they don't have any sense of the money, rednecks, black people just the N-word or thugs or criminals. I mean, and that whole sense. So I always felt like I wasn't authentic enough to become the black person, despite, you know, having the black skin. It took a while to actually get to the point where like, okay, it doesn't fucking matter, you know, doesn't fucking matter. Like I am what I am, and I can't help what I am. I can't help how I sound like or how I do my things. I can't help my mannerism. It just is. It just exists. I didn't choose to be where I'm at. Okay, I didn't choose anything at all when I was born. Nothing. It was like if you were playing Skyrim, just like random preset, random name, random race, and then you just went off with the story mode. You couldn't choose anything. You had to go like that, and that's how it works. And accepting that is kind of hard in a sense, right? Because like you're still stuck in that fact where it's like, oh, don't speak black on both sides, and that's such a weird thing to even get. Like, so I can't even like speak if I getting criticized here. Like, what are we doing here? Again, like, what are we actually doing here? It's like one of those scenarios. But how I deal with it now is essentially, it's basically what I took from my incel days. Like, be comfortable in your own skin. At the end of the day, people still are going to judge you whether or not you like it, and you just have to minimize those judgments and just keep moving on. Delete the messages. You know what I'm saying? End the process and the task manager of which that insecurity bog in your mind. I mean, just go. Just keep going. Because, like, life's too short to be worrying about whether or not you're authentic enough for people who don't generally give a fuck about you. Yeah, basically, that's my whole take on being black, acting black, talking black, thinking black, breathing black, and eating black. Wow. I must say I'm pretty on top. Pretty on top. Let me turn on the brightness of this a little bit. Hold up. So my live stream was lagging a bit. I don't know if it changed that much on the VOD watching end, because I don't watch any of my VODs. I barely watch my videos because I hate watching myself if it's not editing. Because, like, if it's not edited, then I have to. Oh God, I just missed that follow. I'm sorry. Fuck. I literally just refreshed my chat the moment you follow me. I'm terribly sorry. But thanks for following. I really appreciate it. Fucking hate the economy, right? Am I right? But yeah. And I'm trying to grow within my skin, and doing that is kind of hard because of the fact. Oh, my chat's back up. My chat is not back up. So whoever followed, thanks for follow. You can say ZZZ or something like that. Appreciate it. Oh, there you go. I'm streaming. Oh dear God, I'm extremely wet. All right, brother. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Getting comfortable with getting like. Here's the thing, folks. You have to be able to just garner and concentrate self-esteem to the point where you're oozing arrogance, right? And at that point, you can just humble yourself down levelly. But to get to the point where you can, like, have self-esteem, I feel like it's a lot of it's an issue for a lot of people because of the fact that, like, I'm gonna go like boomer take here, even though I'm like basically an old ass Gen Zer. When you look at social media, when you look on the TV, when you listen to the radio, when you look at advertising, you just see the perfect human being in front of you. And you look in the mirror, you're nothing like that. Even though in 90% of the cases, the perfect human being in front of you has had a professional stylist, has had makeup, has had Photoshop rendering, has had many filters that made her voice sound more beautiful than it actually is, and a multitude of other factors that make them accentuate and become a higher being than what they truly are. And because of that, we tend to appeal. No. They tend to appeal to us because we are fawning over their unlikely looks. They've been blessed with just pure sense of attractiveness. But in reality, of course, no matter how much you say it, attractiveness is subjective. Now, what isn't subjective, which could be a spicy hot take that could get me canceled if I had any notoriety whatsoever, is the concept of weight and facial structure, right? Like, for example, let's look at Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, quite a handsome individual, if I do say so myself. If his nose was down about 1 inch and one of his eyes was slightly up about 2 centimeters, he'd be completely hideous. He weighed about 20 pounds less or 30 pounds more, he'd be completely hideous. Like, basically, what I'm trying to say here is, like, there are a multitude of factors that just, like, so happen to link up with a multitude of things. Like, for example, a lot of people are attracted to a symmetrical face, a face that has symmetry. And if you do have a symmetrical face or a face or facial structure that is very uniform, then it's very smooth for your eyes to glance over and analyze the lack of imperfections and impurities on it. Therefore, you're more attractive. And the same thing with the body, right? If the body is very smooth all the way around, no lumps and bumps and curves, whatever, then it's easier to be like, oh yes, a beautiful human being, sculpted by God. You know what I mean? Like that isn't subjective, right? Like, because I feel like when people say that, they're let me phrase something real quick. So when people say either, they don't really say it, but like when they say looks are subjective, and they really mean that like fat is more beautiful than skinny. I mean, if you want to be honest here, if you want to really be honest, attractiveness is a social construct. Because there was a time, I think it was whenever Bacchus was leader, being fat was seen as being wealthy, and therefore you garnered more attention because you were wealthy and you ate a lot. So therefore being fat was a new hot, was a new six-pack, right? That was the thing. And then now flash forward to whatever time period away from the Greeks, whatever Bacchus was from, being fit and skinny is a new hot. It's the basically everything we can all agree with. Now, of course, again, there are people who love really just non-traditional attractive people, but it changes with time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's gonna be a time frame where like we're all gonna love like 7 foot tall, 2-pound, thin frame skeletal people. It's gonna be a time frame where that's gonna happen. I think that passed quite a bit ago, but that is gonna be a time frame eventually, or the other way around. We're gonna have very obese people because America's getting starting to become more and more obese as time goes by. But yeah, and I was about to say because like attractiveness, when it comes to people, like they're very quick to pull the trigger, right? It's like either everything is attractive, the same levels and degrees of so, and if they aren't to you, then you are really being, you know, fat phobic, or you hate other people from looking non-conventional, or only skinny people and muscular people look hot and no one else can. And it's just not true. Mainly because, again, looks are subjective, right? Fuck, I gotta go. I just remember my interview tomorrow. Fuck. I don't wanna go. I don't wanna fucking go. I don't wanna fucking go at all. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Let me see what time it is, bro. I really don't want to go to that shit. Holy fuck. It's like an hour away too. Oh man, let me see. It is 11:30, dude. God damn it. Anyway. So yeah. I feel like because attractiveness is subjective, you truly just can't define what's hot or what's not based on popularity, because it is subjective. I feel like it's also such a weird thing to think about too, because it's basically objectifying them to what their looks are. Essentially, it's just like putting a person, you know, and a person includes a lot more than what they are outwardly, right? They include the personality and of course their intelligence, right? And a multitude of other factors, but we're being general here, and personality, intelligence are very, and looks are very, you know, integral to like how people are attracted to something. And you know, you could look like fucking the hot guy number 75 over here and be dumb as a pile of bricks. You're not gonna be that appealing to a bunch more people now because you're dumb as a pile of bricks. While you're also over here being average Joe scumbag over here, but you're a billionaire and you're a really funny guy, right? And people are going to be more attracted to you, not because you're average looking, but because you're a billionaire, you're a more attractive guy. Like, there's more to attractiveness than just looks. But if we're going based off looks alone, then yes, the average guy would have less appeal to him than the ultra mega hunk Chad guy over there. And my nose is itchy. Know how to do cocaine. And I'll explain this. It's the appeal. So I feel like too, one thing that I think we're a lot of them forgetting. One thing is that we as a society, we love it. We love hearing, like, across the world, we love hearing this came up from nothing story, right? We love hearing the old, I was born as an immigrant. I had 3 nickels and a penny in my fucking pocket. I went out there, got it done, got my fucking job done, I moved out, I'm a billionaire. We love those stories, right? We love the whole work ethic concept because we are trained to believe that work gives us a sense of purpose, because work equals money, and money equals life. No, and money equals security, not life. Money isn't life, but money makes a secure life. that will then extend your life further than if you didn't have any money. So therefore, you could say money is life, but that's beside the point. So anyway, so yeah, we're attracted to the essence of work equal thing. Okay, and so if we see someone with a really sculpted, thick, muscular body, then we're like, holy shit, he worked to get the muscles. So therefore, because he worked to get the muscles, he is a better person. And that's how that's like some, if not most, of the basis as to where the attractiveness and appeal come from, like really fit muscular people. That being said, they do look pretty awesome, but like that's like a factor into it, right? The fact that you have to like look at them like, oh, they spent like hours upon hours upon hours to sculpt that perfect figure, like that plays a major factor, because like we fetishize work, and because of that, the attractiveness that goes into that goes out the window, I guess, in that sense, would be if it's, I don't know, too much work. But even then, if you work hard too much, it's still is it like overly attractive. So I don't know. I feel like here's a hot spicy take. I feel like if we as society, as I mentioned before, didn't fetishize work as hard as we did, muscular people would not be attractive at all. Like, not in the slightest. We would hate muscular people so fucking much. Because we don't like work. Love America? Well, fuck off. Yo, what mouse is that? What shit mouse is this? I don't fucking know. There's no brand here. I like scrubbed the brand off. My oils from my hand just like wiped it off. How much of a grease hog or whatever. But yeah. And one of the main reasons we love muscles, as I mentioned before, is because we like hard work paying off. Therefore, if we don't like hard work anymore, the muscles won't be that attractive. Now, there is the aesthetic into muscular people having the ripples all over the body, obviously. But besides that, whatever, yeah. MAGA. Okay, fine. Want to get into MAGA? That's a great question. MAGA. When you say make America great again, what do you mean? I think America's great right now. Even though I fucking hate it, I may think America's great right now. Get off that chair. It's made in America. Do you really believe that if I look at this chair, it's gonna say made in America? I mean, it could be for all I know. But do you think you want to take that chance? I mean, you could have probably Googled it, came in here and said it's an American chair. That's besides the point. Yeah, what is what time period referring to that would equate to making America great again? Because like, if you're implying that if it isn't great, then you're also insinuating that there was a specific time period that it was great. So which time period are you referring to? Go back to Mexico. Not a time period. What time period would refer to making America great? Just answer the question, but that's all you gotta do. Just answer. That's it. We'll be done. I was a Republican National Convention, by the way. I heard it was pretty spicy. It's kind of boring, actually. The 1980s? You think the 1980s was a great time period? Are you serious? The 1980s? You do realize that was like borderline the years before the peak in crime. That's like the build up to the highest crime rate period in American history. Modern American history, like industrialized American history, right? So like, that wasn't that great. 1930s. Oh, okay. So when I didn't have rights, and when women were barely able to vote. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So in that society, sure, you want America to go back to where, you know, everyone isn't equal, and everyone who isn't part of the white hegemonic structure is above everyone else. There you go. In time for a civil war. Yeah, see, okay, there you go. Yeah, you just don't want anyone else to have rights of white people. That's essentially what I get here. So yeah, that's why They Make America Great is kind of a yikes, essentially. But yeah. Oh yeah, the 1980s when cops were legally allowed to rape people. That's a very fun time period. Forgot about that too. Yeah, cops were legally allowed to rape people in their custody because they're cops. Cops are good, by the way. Let's see. So I'm rereading D. Gray Man again. I'm loving it. Kind of am. But I didn't get back into. Okay, good. Hold on. Wait. Need to catch my thoughts here. Because I had a train of thought and I completely lost it. And I need to get back on like right now. Right the fuck now. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to get back on that shit. Ooh. This is gonna be a beautiful vibe, by the way. That water drinking time. That's delicious. Let me see. So I guess right. I didn't mention that money doesn't equal happiness, it equals security. But I didn't fully dive into that as a concept. And you see the new Yeezys? No, fuck Kanye. No. And nope, it's not a Coleman water bottle. And I guess what I mean by money is about your happiness, more specifically, is the concept of specifically our structure and how our economics fully works, is that you have to work to get anything. Like if you go into, you're an immigrant, you come to America, immigrant, you don't get fucking murdered because you're an immigrant. Someone pass that border. I mean, that works too. And you're in there and you have to work to survive. And once you work, you slowly, attain rights to health insurance, which you still have to pay for even though you work for. You got dental, you got eye insurance, you got the rent to pay for, you got the food to pay for, you got housing, a multitude of things, right? And while you do all that, you attain the security of not being homeless at all. Now, obviously, being homeless is not really a factor that shouldn't be thought after, but there is one thing homelessness is kind of cool and base for. It's the fact that you don't have to be fully a slave to the structure that forces you to continuously work, or else you will be homeless because you're already homeless. So therefore, the worst case scenario already happened to you, right? So therefore, there's no threat over your head. And because of that, if we strip that constant threat of being, like if you don't work a job, you can be homeless. If you strip that out of it, then money would lose its happiness or value, because that sense of security would be gone. Because there would be, for example, like free housing or something like that, or free healthcare or something like that, something kind of crazy. And I feel like that's why whenever I say money is about happiness, it's more along the lines of like a delusional aspect, right? Not delusional, but it's like how we set it up. Because like the best way to keep people in line is to give them just enough to the point where like they're comfortable with living in their shit, but not too little where like they're starving and they're complaining, like the protests right now, right? Make them content. Like the carrot and the stick analogy, right? If you put someone on a carrot and a stick, they have something to chase towards, and they're continuously chasing after that thing on the stick, even though they're never going to get it, and they will never realize they're never going to get it because they are in an environment which is kind of comfortable to continuously chase carrot and stick on a treadmill. Enjoy yourself. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Do you think the majority of black people are lazy? If I had more money, I would buy more meth, therefore I would be happy. Let me see here. How do I explain this? Meth is a drug to escape. And the reason you are liking meth is because you want to escape. Now there are other reasons, you know, because no, that is the main reason for meth. You just want to escape. You just want to escape current situations. Like that's basically any use for any recreational drug. You just want to escape the reality that you're in because reality fucking sucks. Now there are also nuanced reasons, like you want to, you know, just no. Actually, that would be the only reason, right? Because why the fuck would you want to smoke weed? Because you want to just escape whatever situation right now, right? You, like if you want to chill and smoke weed, you want to chill and escape the situation you're currently in by being in an alleviated higher state than where you are right now. Therefore, if you found other ways to escape that didn't include money, then you just be perfectly fine there. Rioting, looting your own black community, thinking it justifies racism. That's a very long answer. I mean, I guess we get into that. I don't really fucking care. Boom, 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 boom. Not weed, meth. Do black people not listen to police officers so they can escape? I mean, I know you're not being good faith. So you're basically saying, you know, all black people are bad and they deserve to be shot. And it kind of perpetuates the cycle of black people being more paranoid because of the fact that people like you think they just hate cops because they don't want to be shot. But if that's the case and you're constantly putting that on them, then that means they also are more paranoid because, you know, if you're white, because I know you're white, if you're white and cops happen to be white and have the same thinking, because that's borderline the consensus of like the broader scope of white America is that all blacks, you know, 1350, despite making 30% of the population, blacks commit 50% of crime, that all blacks are criminals. And therefore, because you think all blacks are criminals, they deserve to get shot. And if you think that is the case, if you go to become a police officer is even someone who has same mind processes, you're going to be becoming more paranoid. You can put your gun on a lot faster because there's a black person in front of you because you've been told by society continuously that black people are violent because 1350. Even though there are reasons why 1350 exists, but that is, you know, again, above and beyond quick little sentence or quick little like just statistic thrown out there. Boom, 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 boom. Watch the videos right now on your stream and tell me if they would have just listened to the officers, they wouldn't have been shot. What videos are you talking about? You mean my videos? What are you talking about specifically? I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Okay, so okay, you know what this sounds like? Don't commit crime. It sounds like don't have sex. Do you realize how such a like a privilege slash not even like thought out response that is? Motherfuckers are gonna have sex. Motherfuckers are gonna commit crime. Like you just can't stop crime. You just can't stop sex. Like it's just not a thing. Yeah, you can't tell people not to have sex. That doesn't work. Because people are still gonna fuck. I mean, you can look into why people are just not having sex, right? You can look into, you know, our lack of, yeah, I know you guys are incels. You're in Twitch chat at past midnight. You're all incels who hate yourselves, hate women, and blame women for the reason why society sucks and why no one would date you. Why? You can look into why sex is such a concept that is barely able to avoid consistently. You can look into why people constantly have sex continuously. You know, our media, for example, we simultaneously at the same time we love fetishizing people who are younger, but demonize people who like people who are younger. Like we pin our male population in a really weird box, right? Because have you ever heard of the wall past 30, like women hitting the wall past 30? I know all you guys heard of that. What the fuck am I saying? So we basically pinned our society, like beauty pageants. We pinned our society where it's like youth is attractive. Youth is the most pure thing in the world. In reality, it's fucking night, little weirdos. And we're like, yeah, not the biological clock. It's more along the lines of like they are losing sexual appeal because their eggs are going to wither away and die. I mean, it's like that. And our focus on Charli D'Amelio, for example, and I think like Sky Jackson, like 18, 19 years old, and like fetishizing them because they're young, because they're youthful, because they have more clear skin, because they have more energy. It'll make the male population more attracted to younger and younger people, and they can justify it by saying, well, Japan's age of consent is 13 years old. Well, I mean, lonely is just drawings and pixels. What are you getting offended for? Like, they can justify it that way, you know what I mean? And it pins them in the corner. Now, that being said, of course, liking younger people in general is repulsive. Disgusting, you're just violating them. But we as a society pin them in that situation, and that's why a lot of people, let's rape as an example, like raping younger women, because they are the ideal target to aim for. And because of that, that's why telling people not to have sex is kind of a hard concept. And that's the same thing as telling people not to commit crime. You just kind of can't do that if there is a multitude of factors as to why said things happen. So that's why I said. Yo, hot take, racism is kind of bad, dude. Even though enjoy yourself. No, Apostle, that is the hottest fucking take of the week. It is. It fucking is, dude. No, we don't all share racism as bad, because I guarantee you, if we were to break down everything, we would find some very racist points of view that you hold on to for very moral and stigmatic reasons. No one is saying that racism is good, but what they are saying is that other people are bad because of their race. Therefore, they're saying racism is good. If I was saying racism is good, it's like saying, okay, let me explain this for you. Okay, so if I called every single woman who ever speaks up about anything a Karen, what does that mean? That means I am subtly implying that every single woman I ever confront that ever speaks up about anything, maybe they don't agree with the cult. Yikes. See, right there, that is a racist statement. I'm going to tell you why. Because Hispanic culture, black culture, white culture isn't exclusive to the race. It's more about where that person is from. I am nothing like a person who's literally in Africa right now, because I'm an American, but we're both black. But you wouldn't consider us both black culture because I am American black and they're African black. Exactly, I agree. You mean you agree on the Karen part? It's just culture? Yeah, then that's racist. Then if you think, people don't agree with culture, then you're just basically saying that you just replace culture with race. And that's how I see it. Because when you say culture, you really mean race. Because when you think of black culture, you think of black people. But in reality, as I've mentioned before, there are a multitude of black people who don't act black, but they will still get put into the black culture situation. Yeah, we're just gonna have to. No. Here's the problem. Yes, race and culture are different things. Now, I just mentioned what culture was. I just mentioned what race was. I gave you the reason, the distinction as to why they're different. But when people mean race, they put culture instead. When people say Democrat-run cities, they mean black cities. When people say thugs, they mean the N-word. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? as I mentioned before, the whole Karen fiasco, right? If I called every woman that ever spoke up a Karen, that would subtly imply that if every woman, that I think every woman is the negative stereotype of what a woman is, you know, a bitch. And if I think all women are bitches, then I'm sexist. I agree with that, but I don't do that. But you just did do that. And okay, let's get more specific. What culture do you think other people don't agree with? Because that would weed out more specifically as to where we have a disagreement on. Enjoy your... When you said maybe they don't agree with their culture, that's what I was saying. Or you can do the same thing with like, even positive stereotypes are very weird, right? You say that with Asians, you know, you say all Asians are good at math, and you genuinely believe that, or you constantly parrot that, or you know, hold that idea and you say it out loud consistently. You meet an Asian person, you're like, ha ha ha, you know, help me with my math homework, ling long ding dong. And it's gonna be like, well, that was a joke, sure. But you think the Asian person who would be good at math or not would really appreciate it if you just constantly, you know, told them they were good at math, even though that has nothing to do with them. They just think whatever. I'm fucking it. What I'm basically trying to say is like racism isn't necessarily like blatant. I hate black people. Black people need to die because they need to be back being slaves or useless piece of lazy shit that's just rioting, looting, and burning everything, building down. They're fucking thieves. That's not what racism entirely is. That is definitely a racist sentiment, but there's more to racism than just that itself. Like, for example, sexism is the same thing. No. When you, but again, I mean culture, not how they attach race to culture. I see your point, and I agree. Maybe just me. Again, I'm asking, like, what specific culture did you mean when you said other people might not agree with a certain culture? I think I was referencing towards whether or not some other bullshit. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, but sexism, because like no one takes sexism seriously at all, because you know women are a joke. It's easy to make fun of women. If incels, for example, right? If incels, no, not incels, Twitter users, like very like Twitter users, Instagram users, they go to a woman's post and they comment milkies to every single like hot chick's post. What do you think that is? They are objectifying the woman to just a pair of tits. When we all know, or we should know, it should be common sense that women are not a pair of tits. But to constantly reduce them as so would mean you only view them as sex objects, would mean that you are being sexist because you only view women as objects. There you go. But no one uses political culture or religious culture when referencing to disagreeing with different cultures. That has never been the case. When they mean different politics, they say different politics. When they mean different religion, they say different religion. It's just wrong there. It's just this. We're just trying to semantic weasel way out of saying what you were meaning to say, which I kind of forgot already at this point. It's just I already forgot it. So I have to drop that essentially. But yeah. Oh, another thing about sexism too, because like I actually become a very woke hyper feminist recently. It is so easy to just be sexist. It really is. Because like a good example is think of like all the insults to a man. When I say street or gang culture, I don't mean black culture. I don't attach it to race either. Right. But when you say street or gang culture, that is usually connotative to minorities. Not necessarily black, but minorities in general, because the vast majority of street culture, and minority or poor, or gang culture is tied of poor, impoverished, violent neighborhoods. You know, gang neighborhoods. Like whether or not you personally attach race to it those words are laced with race attached language. Now that could be saying, "Oh, you're reading too much into what I'm saying." You know what I mean? See, that's the yikes take. Again, you're focused on the semantics of the words themselves rather than what they actually mean. Because like when you say anyone can be a minority, when we say the word minority, it's kind of implied what that really means, right? It means non-white. So if I had to say non-white for you to understand what I'm truly trying to say here, you're gonna try to weasel way out of that one too. But that's what I'm trying to say. People who are not white. That's what street or gang culture usually connotates itself with. And whether or not you meant to say that, that's what the language. When like for example, when someone, see, I'm saying it could be anyone, including white people. No, street or gang culture almost exclusively never includes white people. Never. When you think of a rapper or hip hop, you don't think of white people other than Eminem. You think of, you know, the numerous amount of black people and then other white rappers, right? Because, you know, that's a majority black hip hop. We're basically like trying to argue semantics here. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to do that. Is the mafia currently active? Is the mafia currently killing people? Is the mafia in the streets? Is the mafia a thing and as rampant as, you know, random Mexican or black gangs? If you say yes to that, then show me any proof of like mafia members just like doing drive-bys on a daily basis. And this isn't the 60s, man. What are we doing here? It's kind of insane. I guess back to sexism though. So like the main insults of a man are basically trying to call it the masculinity or trying to call it feminine, right? Like calling a man a bitch or a pussy or like sucking dick or whatever. They are very, in a heteronormative society, obviously, those those insults are based off of women. You know what I mean? A little bit in the Europe gang culture, especially. God. Okay. So let me say something to you, since you are truly stuck on trying to include white people in every negative situation. Therefore, you can mean white people are also struggling. I guess I don't know what your intent of semantics is, but when you say a word, there can be an intimate, like, infinite amount of interpretation of said word. Like if I say slave, I think either wage slave or like chattel slavery. You could think people who were white slaves back in the 1400s, right? But in America, when people usually say slave, they mean chattel slavery or child sex slavery. But in most cases, chattel slavery with the blacks. So if you say gang or street cultures, which is an American fucking term, by the way, you are going to reference black or Hispanic or Asian gangs who run the streets, street culture, right? Like, what are we really doing here? Well, you're not using them correctly. That's what I'm saying. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. It's not. Whatever. Fuck. You get back to the sexism shit. Okay, so try this again. So, because yes, water bottle's kind of big. Because I don't want to talk about that. I just made that separate video. Like I'll have to basically the whole point of that, like that whole segment I was trying to get to was like, hey, women aren't as bad as we think they are. Women are kind of cool, guys. Women are normal people. That's basically it. Holy fuck, I'm tired. I've never experienced true. Okay, so there's this thing called chasing your dreams, guys. You know, and dreams are fun. And, you know, getting to your dreams and having them attained are very fun. Yay, dream chasing. But I've never had like a moment like, ah, yes, this is what I truly encapsulate what myself was doing 5-10 years ago. I never got there because I feel like, well, my long-term goals are very like concrete. My short-term and mid-term goals are like very fickle. They can change with like, even with like the content I'm watching, right? And that greatly affects the long-term goals, because without the short-term goals being kind of stable and easy to maintain, then you have no like basis or foundation to leap towards the long-term goals. Like if you're constantly bouncing between jobs, you're not gonna have enough income to save up to go get that house that you want to in the future. Like that's not bullshit, right? And I've never really like had focus on short-term goals, never, because I was so focused on long-term goals. And the importance of short-term goals, like I mentioned before, they just help with the foundation. And I feel like also like it makes you feel like you're doing something, right? So like what I've been trying to do now is like, okay, so I need to get at least XYZ amount of things done. That'll be my short-term goal for the day or the week, whatever. And that is really possible, really achievable. And it gives you a sense of like, I'm finally doing something worth grabbing for in life. Yay, I'm actually doing it. I'm taking one small step for my dream kind, or whatever the saying goes. And yeah, you can start to see the end goal getting closer. Exactly. And it's kind of weird though, because like it's very cringe and normally like to have to like push yourself to a point where it's like, okay, every day, and to stop being an incel, I would take a shower every day. I would say hi to people without having animosity towards them. And it's like you have to like force yourself to do those goals. You know what I mean? It's just very. I would exercise every day, and you know what I mean. Like it's just I was explaining it to people like, yeah. So every day I wake up, I have a list, and it basically tells me I have to math day every day. Like it's just kind of weird, but like. If it's the only way you can hold yourself accountable, then you just got to do it. I mean, you just got to put yourself in a position to start fucking work. I used to be an incel, former incel. Now I'm literally the opposite. I combat incels. I give tips to incels sometimes. You know, I made a video on my YouTube called "Tips for Incels." It's pretty enlightening, and yeah. So having those short term goals kind of builds up your personality and your confidence, honestly. Like, cause I made it a short term goal of mine every single day to either A, get fucking homework done or some of it done, or B, you know, just talk about random bullshit for an hour every day on stream, and then clip that fucking hour-long segment into at least 2 videos and throw it on YouTube and split them out to re-upload schedule. And that's basically how the end of my day goes. And I made it so like it's a pattern for me now, right? And also I made it a thing where it's like, remember, every day wear this shirt every single time. No, I don't read books. And wear the shirt every single time you want to stream, because you know uniformity is very important. And I made that a pattern, and now every time I achieve this goal, I feel more enlightened because I'm more heading towards my final goal, which is nowhere near this. But I mean, hey, it's close enough. Reach for the stars. See, okay, all right. Damn. I'm thinking of whether or not like the whole story of like my former YouTube channel, I guess it's still current, of how like I stopped making it because my computer crashed, and also multitude of things, like how I want to dive deeper into that. But the problem making that video is, if that video ever catches traction, people will be like, oh, so that's where he is, okay. And I'm gonna have to explain to myself even more like what the fuck I'm even doing here, what the whole purpose this and the third. I don't know. Basically what I'm trying to say is like I had a former I have a YouTube channel right now that has like 260 subscribers, and it was up and coming YouTube channel, and then I was unable to edit anymore because my computer crashed, and I'm waiting for a new computer to come in to edit some more. So until my new computer comes in, I can no longer edit on that said, or edit for that said channel. And I've been told that people on that channel that I'm making new content over here because it's kind of too complicated to get on that topic, whatever. I ordered some like I don't fucking know, some like pre-built bullshit. I can't make computers anymore. Yeah, I ordered some pre-built bullshit. I can't, dude. I tried making a PC. I broke it like on day one. I dropped the shit. It like I can't do it. I cannot. I'm I fucking built. Yeah, never stop the grind. It's more of it's just become a habit at this point. Yeah, I'm not good at technology. I've on every single piece of technology I've ever owned, I spilled at least a cup of water on it. Now, could I have used that water to satiate myself to then give myself more nutrients? Yes, but I was clumsy. I don't fucking know. It's just it's a pain. It's a pain. It's a pain to exist and be this lazy and clumsy sometimes. Because you know you forget to leave like 3 cups in your room, and then you get up, you forget a cup is full of water, and then bloof, it splashed all over your goddamn laptop, and your laptop dies 6 months after that. So it's like you don't necessarily win all the time. I mean, you don't blow a win all the fucking time, bro. Ugh. I mean, I guess like I could reorder a motherboard and try putting all the pieces back together again in my new laptop, because I still have most of the parts of my PC right now. But the problem with that is I don't want to do that again. It took me like 6-7 hours to build the PC the way it was, and even at that point I still didn't fucking like doing it. And when I finally tried to turn it on, it didn't fucking turn on in the first place. And when it didn't turn on after like 6-7 hours of work, I got kind of pissed off. How much was it? Under 2,000. There you go, let's put it that way. And dude, I fucking hate technology so much. I just hate technology so much. I've never had like a decent computer, like ever. Everything else in my life though, I've had like the top tier. Everything else in my life, I've had like a really good job at one point where I saved a bunch of money for. I had really good education. I've had good grades. I had good parents. Everything else in the lottery of life, I've scored phenomenally on. But when it comes to computers, never. I've never had a good computer in my life. You buy me one? Sure, why not? Why the fuck not? I have the money. Like every computer I've ever had has always lagged, has always shut down on me, has always overheated, and has always had a cup of water spilled on it magically. I guess part of my problem is like I tend to like do stuff that requires so much processing power for PC. That's why it's like ends up being like some bullshit entirely. But I don't know, it just rich motherfucker problems. But like I never had a good PC, so my life is like literally worse. Like it's so bad. Like poverty, fucking homelessness, fuck all that. I never had a good PC, bitch. Like what the fuck? That's worse than anything. Like even my worst like customer experience, no customer even my worst customer service experience was being yelled at over the phone about a dude who didn't have Viagra. Like, that's my worst customer service experience. Very weird. Thanks for this follow. I can't spell that name. I can't say that name at all. I'll just call you Crazy. Thanks for follow, Crazy. Jesus Christ. But yeah, just I don't know. What here? Goddamn. What do you work for? I don't do any work. I don't have a job right now. I have an interview tomorrow, but I don't have a job currently. I have a lot of money saved up from my old job. Almost too much money. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And that's what's gonna get to my next take. Being rich with no money, with nothing to spend the money on, kind of not poggers. I'm gonna be honest. Like you would think having money and being able to not spend it would be amazing because you have money, but it's not. It's not. Travel. Bro, I am too paranoid. I am too paranoid to travel. I'm like fucking way too paranoid. Why do I hate it? Because I'm in the awkward phase right now where like I can literally move out and pay for like rent for quite some time. But the problem is, number one, I wouldn't. I would need I don't. I don't fucking know. It's just very weird. I do want to strike independence, move out, but the problem is I don't have a stable income at the moment. But even if I do get stable income, it still won't be enough to satiate the true comfort that I want. I don't know. Like I just basically the only like the real reason why I hate money I have now, because like the main things I want to spend the money on was like buying a new mic, buying a new camera, and buying a new PC. Those are my main things. Also traveling, but I kind of don't want to travel now. I just don't want to. Not now. And because of those things, I'll work my wall. Like I'll get to like why money doesn't think for me. Because of those things, because I bought most things already. Like everything else I buy, it isn't what I truly want. It's just stuff to like just kind of like patch over the hole of the void of emptiness inside of my chest. What I truly want is to move out, but then again, I want something that I really would just be stable for 10 years, and I'm a really picky person. It's very like convoluted and very like privileged thing to say, like, oh, I hate money I have, you know. It is. I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of a rich fucker like inheritance boy thing to say. Well, I did work for my money, so it's not like I didn't earn it, but like whatever. Anyway, so main reason why I'm not blowing stack right now is because number one, I'm not that much of a like aesthetic person. Like I don't really care much about clothing or artwork in general, or even anything like car related. Like I bought the most basic bitch car. Like I'll just live here, nowhere else. Like the most basic bitch car, and then like, oh yeah, that's fine. And then I've also got like fucking like manga, a bunch of manga, but that's it. I'm done buying manga now. I don't know. I feel like my interests are making content, playing video game, watching anime, eat hot chip, and lie. It's basically all I do all day. Oh, I watch content too, and like psychology thing too. But like, I hate going to school. I wish I can get a psychology degree if I go into school, because school's too fucking long. I fucking hate school so much, dude. Like, well, I do want the psychology degree and a career in psychology, so I can, you know, become a psychologist and study people's brains and like become like a fucking 5-head and shit. I hate going to school for it. I really do. The only classes I actually enjoyed were like my political science class. I don't know what the fuck that was called, like early American history, something like that, and the psychology class. Every other class after that, they didn't kick it for me. Read psychology books. I'm just. Here's the thing, right? I can only read stuff I'm like extremely interested in. Like, well, politics, I can read that for days, and when it comes to manga, I can read that for days. But if it's like anything like I'm kind of interested in, like it's like psychology, like I'm kind of interested in that. I just yeah, hot take, school sucks ass. Oh, dude, I've been blackpilled so hard, dude. Like before the pandemic even happened, I was like, life is meaningless, life is pointless, and why the fuck should I even do anything? Now I'm like, life is meaningless, life is pointless, and why should I even? And the crazy part about it is, like, I had a peak before the pandemic drop, right? The peak was I was actually traveling. I was actually spending more of my money. I was actually looking to getting more jobs to then move out eventually, so I can, you know, be with my true love and this, that, and the third. But the pandemic kind of stopped all that progress, and I had less reason to go outside, and I became back to where I was back in December before I became fully awoken to the wonders of the world. Now, I guess I can, oh fucking know, dude. I've had so many midlife crises at this point. Like, it feels like it's just a normal thing. Don't go outside, go inside, bro. But the problem is, like, I hate staying inside, but I also hate going outside. So, like, I truly am never satisfied. This is my therapy session. What the fuck? It's my therapy session. What the fuck, dude? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. No, but I feel like this isn't. Like, I feel like this would be like a very surface therapy session level. Like, I feel like this is what I would tell my therapist, like this type of shit, because like to me, this is like a casual conversation I'd have like a normal friend like this, because like whether I like it or not, being a black pilled doomer is borderline my personality trait, as cringe as that is. Like I wake up like, oh yeah, life is fucking meaningless because everything doesn't matter even if you really think about it. That's just what it is. Commitment issues, yeah, I do have commitment issues. Except again, when it's something I really, really, really like, I have commitment issues. I'll give you that much. I give you that much, fucking armchair psychologist, motherfucker. Like holy fuck. Like I want to say it's even commitment issues in my job, but like I only quit one job. The others I got fired from. So technically, it's not on that front. I don't know about that. I mean, but yeah, it's just I don't know, man. Life kind of tough, dude. But when you be making that dough, not so kind of tough. But life still be tough. That's basically the lesson. Scared of heights. I'm scared of, irrelevant things like, being the last one to survive. That's it. That's basically my general fear, just survivor's guilt. That's literally it. And I can't laugh because I'm in the middle of a pandemic, but it's funny because I'm like, that how realistic that could possibly be any second now. But like I don't know, like, so okay, I say this multiple times because that guy's probably dead by now. But there's this one dude who came into the chat about like I think a week ago, and his whole thing was like, hey, my dad died and my cat had a miscarriage and also died. I'm really depressed. And then I'm like, hey brother, listen, I'm here too. As a matter of fact, you're gonna get so depressed that whenever you lose something, you will actually be delighted because you can no longer be paranoid about losing that thing in the worst way possible because it's already gone. So therefore, since your father's gone, your cat's gone, they can't die again. And that was my advice. And looking back on it, like, while that is good advice for a person like me who's already down in the deep end, for them it might it might not have been the most like sage advice to say, like not to say, but like not like the most optically like soothing advice, right? Because like if you're dealing with like the death of a loved one and someone tells you like, oh, they can't die again, like it's like, well, I mean, yeah, it's true, but they're gone. I mean, that's gonna be their response, right? Obviously, fucking gone. But I went into more detail, like, yeah, I dealt with death multiple times, and it's based on the lines of like, if you are truly not if you're truly depressed, but like if you are like a depressed person, then the constant fear, paranoia of them dying consistently on a daily basis for like just like 100 ways to die, except like every single second of your life on the same person, if that's just gone now because they're gone, then that's sort of a leaf off your back. And also, yeah, I guess fear change, and also because they are gone, you can eventually just plateau over your sadness at some point eventually. While if they're alive the entire time, you're gonna be constantly just ratcheting the paranoia up. Well, oh, they're gonna die tomorrow, they're gonna die the next day, they're gonna die the next week, or whatever, like that. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, change. Basically what you said, death is permanent and permanence is comforting because it's permanent. You know what I mean? Holy fuck. It's you. I feel like the best way to like, whenever people say, oh, I want to do something that'll make me remember for the past 200 years, I want to feel like I'm making an impact on this earth, I go to them, right? And I'm like, okay, if you really, really want to get into the weeds of this, think back 1,000 years ago. Name 100 people from 1,000 years ago. Can't do that, right? And think back to about 100 years ago. All right. Now, even if you know the most famous person from 100 years ago, only thing you know about them is the Cliff Notes version about them. You don't know like all the achievements they did. So even if you like end up saving the fucking planet and like be rid thing of global warming as a concept, like this, boom, global warming's gone, and you did also a multitude of things. 100 years from now, you're only going to be known for saving the earth from global warming, not all the other little things that you did that would like try to fulfill yourself, try to get yourself remembered. But what I'm trying to say is like trying to get yourself remembered permanently doesn't really fucking matter, because at the end of the day, the whole point of trying to be remembered permanently, trying to leave a stain on the history to try to be remembered by everyone. Instead, you conceptually cannot fucking do that as a concept, then that is a meaningless goal to be paranoid about and chase in general, because at the end of the day, history and time swallows everyone. All 75 options. Yeah, I don't. As I become older, I've become more welcoming and accepting deathly creature. I think it's probably the reason why I like psychology too, right? It was like just thinking about thinking is my favorite pastime. Come to Turkey. Turkey's one of the countries I'm only allowed to go to. I think it's like Turkey and Brazil, some shit like that. But you could just want to be remembered for being a good guy. The details are irrelevant. But the thing is, too, is like, even if that's the case, again, we can go even like more brevity speak. 10 years from now, people are only going to remember what they want to remember, not what you want them to remember. So therefore, no matter like if it's like I'm not saying like you shouldn't try to be a good guy or be remembered as such. That shouldn't be a goal you should strive for. I'm just saying like the concept of trying to be remembered in general is just kind of a null and void concept, because you can't control time. Because like, how many guys remember like Juice WRLD died, right? Like, you know what I mean? Go to Europe. I think no, it was either Turkey or I don't know. So I know for a fact only 2 countries will allow me American go to their country, because the pandemic, the atrocity, fucking spelling doom upon the world. Yo, if I was Christian, dude, I would be like jerking it every day. Like this is the end times, right? Like like this is the perfect time to be religious. That's all I'm saying. Like genuinely speaking, I'm not a religious person, but I'd put stock into religion right now, because like they gonna write some fire fucking scripture about this time period. I want to say like the Bible part 2 is gonna be fire. All right, see you later. Apostos Sui, I don't know what your name is. See you later. Like fucking the Quran 2 gonna be fire. The Hindu book 2 fire. There's gonna be a sequel to that shit, obviously. Like, holy shit, bro. I wanna go, dude. I don't wanna go to fucking. So nervous. I'm so scared, dude. I'm so fucking nervous and scared, dude. Here in Mexico, I think it's similar to the US. I think so too. Yeah, because like you can't travel anywhere. You because you're connected to us by the hip. Literally. Oh man. Let me see. You know what? I'm gonna make it to 1:30 and then call it a day there. I feel like if I can make it at least 1:30, I've done something positive. Positive is a complete odd statement, but that's what's up. But yeah, I kind of wish I want to. Can I chat pull up here? Let me see. No, it won't. I'll probably have to like. I just want the chat to pull up like right here. So like when you're watching the VOD, you can see what I'm talking about here. But like there's no chat. Like it don't make no fucking sense, dude. Like holy fuck, dude. Stalling this hard is not. I can't stall. Cannot stall. Stalling is for people who actually have things to say. I don't. Like I just come on here every day, go like blah 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 blah. Thank you for watching. Have a terrible day. You're ugly. That's basically how the process goes, right? Holy shit! Like, bro, look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. Look at this beautiful PC here. PC Master Race, by the way. Oh man, this is lovely. This is what I'm paying for. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what the fuck that means. What does it mean when it's like 91% CPUs going to the OBS studio? What I don't know. I'm not a tech guy. I mentioned multiple times I'm not a tech guy. But yeah. 10 seconds, boys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. It's 1:30. Goodbye, you ugly fucker.